Hello everyone and welcome back to my F2 2020 season for the round in Barcelona, the third round of the championship. You can see at the top of the screen as the championship standings drop in. We are 17 points ahead of Giuliano Alesi, Felipe Drogovich 22 points back in third position, and we of course driving as Yuki Tsunoda. So we run through into qualifying now, and you can see it is the wet conditions. There's no intermediate tyres in Formula 2, just wets and dries, so it's a little simpler I suppose in that respect. But yeah, we need to try and improve on our wet weather pace. It hasn't really been so great in Formula 2 cars historically, so we'll just set a banker lap and then try to chip away throughout the qualifying session and improve and see if we can get towards the front of the grid. So here we go, setting our first lap time. It's slowest out of the times that have been set. So yeah, we do drastically need to improve on the time. We already are going to try and gain a bit of time through the first corner, just trying to run it through here faster, and it does flick over to green in the top right, so we did get through there better than on the previous lap. So we just need to keep these improvements coming and try to just do the best job that we can. I suppose we get a purple first sector, so that's a great sign for this lap. So let's hope we can carry this forwards, but lots of understeer there through turn 4. We had to actually feather the throttle. But we move on now to the final corner. We've got a green middle sector as well, so this is a considerably better lap. And as we come across the line, we're still down in last position, so despite a huge improvement over our previous effort, it is still just not enough. We improved in all 3 sectors, but that first lap must have just been that bad, I suppose. You can see now we've dropped down to last position in the session, so we need to go out again as we come towards the line. Though we've only just got enough time to cross the line before the message comes up to end the session, so we need to improve now or never as we head into the first couple of corners. But we move on to the final sector, and we couldn't improve. There's a big mistake there, and that is our session done.
Okay, I think the track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Schwartzman, Matsushita and Daniel Ticktum. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye.
P22, get in the bin. Let's go into the race.
Welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya here in Spain for what is expected to be a very closely contested race. Here's the venue we'll be racing at, known to the teams, well known to the drivers. Many will have raced here as teenagers. We've got 16 turns, the elevation of 30 meters, and some famous moments down through the years. In commentary, I'm Alex Jakes, and I'm joined once again by 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. Davide, I imagine you've been around this track countless times by now. Any tips for the drivers out there today?
Yeah, you're right. This is a track that has been in rotation for both Formula 1 and Formula 2 for years now. My advice is to watch your tires management. The track has a bumpy surface that can be very demanding on drivers and tires. Play it safe most of the way around, then look at the long straight into turn 1 for overtake opportunities.
And here are the driver grid positions for today's race. Robert Schwartzman lines up on pole position, and Nobuharu Matsushita completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ticktum, Drogovich, Dejan Daruvula, and Mazepin, Schumacher, Armstrong, Aitken, Christian Lundgaard, Piquet, Delatraz, Guilherme Samaya, and Ilott, Joe, Alesi, Sato, and Artem Markelov. Nissani and Sean Galale, Giotto, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So then here we go onto the grid for the race here in Spain. Little bit of rainy conditions heading towards us at the end of this one, so we're going to mess around with strategy a bit, start on the soft tyres as opposed to the hards that it was recommending. Typically in Formula 2 you would start on the softs, but it seems that everyone will be starting on the hards today, except for us. We're going to go aggressive in this race and try to make up some positions at the start as we get ready to go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the feature race here in Barcelona, and it's actually a pretty bad start for us to say we're on the better compound, and we just need to try and make some moves into the first corner. We're going to look to the outside and make the move round the outside of Luca Giotto and Sean Galeo, but we're kind of running out of places to go here, and we're just going to have to stay back. And there's Galeo, a bit of contact there with him. Giotto gets back through, and we're back down into last position round the outside of Giotto though. And can we get Galeo as well as we head through the first corner, third corner? We do just about get to the outside. Galeo holds on as we try and still battle away around the outside. We might get the trident here of Marino Sato, but we just can't quite get there. Galeo still fighting on the inside line there, and we go up the inside of Sato and maybe Nasani as well, not quite making the move on him, but we do make the move on Sato and finally get away up into 19th position in this race. So a bit of a hectic start, and not really a lot to show for. Only 3 positions gained to say we're on the best tyre compound. I was hoping for a bit more, but we've got Ronasani up ahead in the other trident. We'll see if we can chase him down in the next couple of corners and try and make a move on him as soon as we can. Maybe up the inside here, and we will just about get him there. Great dive to the inside. We're battling away now with Artem Markelov, and we'll get him on the exit too with some better traction. So now these soft tyres, the difference is showing, and we've made those 2 moves pretty easily. And next up is the other HWA Race Lab car of Giuliano Alesi. So let's see if we can maybe make a move on him into the first corner. That will be the ideal location, but we didn't get a great run through the chicane there, as we're still trying to get up to speed in these dry conditions, and it wasn't a great run out of there, so we may have to just stay put for the time being, try and close up through the first couple of corners. Maybe if we can think about a move into turn 4, but you can see how late we can brake as they're still being affected by the field spread at this point in the race, only a lap in. And now through turn 3 we should be able to get the power down here, get a good run with some superior traction on the softer compound, and we're going to make the move to the inside of Alesi, and he's not going to be able to fight back from that. Next up is Guan Yu Zhou. We might actually get a run on him on the exit. We do, to the outside around the next left-hander, and we'll make that move quite easily. We might even have a look at his teammate Callum Ilott, the other UNI Virtuosi. The 2 of them a long way down the order in this one, but we couldn't make the move on Ilott there. We have a go to the outside though as we head through the very tight right-hander, and we make our way towards the hairpin here, and we'll make that move on Callum Ilott around the outside. Next up is the Charus of Louis Delatraz. So let's try and keep this distance behind him as we go through the last couple of corners. Try not to lose too much time there. We move on to the main straight, and we should be able to make a move here. We're within range down the inside of Louis Delatraz, and we make that move quite easily here at the turn 1. So as we continue on though, the next car up ahead is Guilherme Samaya, so we make the move on him quite easily there as we switch to the inside line. And next up is the ART of Christian Lundgaard. So let's try and close him down as we head into the left-hander here, the hairpin down the inside, and this should be a pretty easy overtake, and we do make that move on Lundgaard. So we are steaming through the field at a pretty rapid pace. The overtaking here in Formula 2 cars is relatively easy.
Currently P11, we're currently P11.
And yeah, already up into 11th position, and now we have closed right up to Pedro Piquet, the driver who has started on reverse grid pole I think almost every time in this season so far. And around the outside we tried to go off turn 5, not really able to make the move there. Piquet just about holding on there and covering us off, so good defense there from the Brazilian. But we're going to try again to make the move down the inside, and we should just about get there, and we do make the move into turn 10 and ahead now of Piquet. Ooh, it's been a good start. We're now in the points in this race. So now next up is the other ART. I couldn't think what team we drove for a moment. Marcus Armstrong up the inside into turn 1. Job done. Next up, Jack Aitken in the Campos. He's running in the reverse grid pole position, so we've already done the job in Formula 2. If you start from the back, the aim is usually to get into reverse grid pole, and we've almost done that as we now go around the outside of Jack Aitken. These soft tyres are really giving us a good grip advantage. We're so close to running off track there on the outside, but we did make the move on Jack Aitken. And now we can just go for some bonuses, basically, as we look ahead to Nikita Mazepin. But Sean Galale retires from the race with a mechanical failure. He was down at the back of the field in, I think, about second last position, as we saw at the start of the race. So a day that was already not going so well.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap.
Gets worse for Galale, but as you heard there, the safety car came out, is coming in on this lap, but we're actually going to pit now. And if I was a bit faster to think, I would have pit on the previous lap, but unfortunately I was just a bit indecisive. But there will be rain coming later in this race, and these soft tyres are not going to make it. So while the safety car is coming in, there's still a small advantage to be gained while the field is bunched up and sort of battling with each other, costing each other time. So we're going to pit, we're going to be released into a bunch of clean air, and hopefully we can minimize the loss. It would have been so much better if we pit on the previous lap.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
But yeah, I just was undecided on what to do. But the rain will be coming, but not soon enough for the soft tyres to last until then, at least. I don't want to risk getting a puncture at this point in the championship. If we go into the hard tyres now, we have plenty of time before the rain to try and get back up.
I don't think we're far away from some rain. I'll keep you updated as the conditions change.
And yeah, get back up the order. But now, as the rain will be falling very soon, we have finally caught up to the train. It took a long amount of time to get to this point, but we have finally caught up to Luca Giotto, who is still in last position. Not a great race today for the Italian, as he was a title contender in the previous year in 2019, in real life I'm referring to, but yeah, it's not been a good day for him here today. But we make the move on him relatively easily. We've got the big grip advantage once again with considerably fresher tyres than everyone else here. And yeah, we're able to pass Giotto very easily. We had the fastest lap of the race as well. Next up is Marino Sato in the Trident. So let's see if we can catch up to our fellow Japanese driver in this series as we get onto the straight. Can we make a move on Sato? We're a long way behind, but heading towards the first corner. We've made a couple of dives here so far, and we might just be barely within range. Late on the brakes, down the inside, and we do make the move on Marino Sato. That is a really late and aggressive move there.
Nice move.
And it's given us another position in this race. Next up is Roy Nassani in the other Trident, as Guan Yu Zhou retires from the race right in front of us there. But that will not bring out a safety car of any of the varieties, and we can continue to try and chase down Roy Nassani. We go up the inside, almost into turn 4. We decided against it there, as the gap was always going to close, but around the outside of turn 5, not going to make it there. Nassani is going to hold on, as we're just being a bit cautious in these conditions. You don't want to try and throw it into a corner too fast, because you will just go sliding off the road with no hope of saving it. So as we continue through in these ever worsening conditions, can we try and make a move on Nassani into this next hairpin? We're a little bit far back. We've got the DRS though, which is still enabled at this point. We go up the inside from a long way back, not going to make the move though, and we will just sit behind for the time being and try and make a move maybe into turn 1, as we did to his teammate Marino Sato a couple of laps ago. But yeah, since we've got here, the rain has started, and our tyre advantage has kind of been mitigated a bit, because once the rain comes down, it doesn't really matter what tyres you are on as we go up the inside and make the move. It doesn't really matter what slick tyres you're on or how worn they are, they're just going to be slippery. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but here's the replay of the move on Nassani. Late flick to the inside, down and ahead we go. Nassani not able to fight back.
As to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
So yeah, at that point I think we still probably have a small advantage, but it certainly doesn't feel like as much of an advantage as we had previously. But yeah, it now is time to box for the intermediate tyres, as you just heard on the radio there from the engineer. So it's yeah, we need to box for the wet tyres, but just before that we're catching up to the HWA round the outside and ahead of Artem Markelov. Next up is Lacey, the other HWA. Markelov's going to have to double stack.
No issues with tyre wear for now.
of the two of them if they're gonna all pit on the same lap, as is quite often required when the rain comes down. There's not really a huge window of time, and if you stay out that extra lap, it's quite often the worst of the two evils. But we go up the inside now of Markelov after he regained that position briefly, and we've moved ourselves up and into 16th position. So after a great start getting up into the top 10, it has not been a great race for us. But Guilherme Samaya is in the pits. He's going on to another set of hard tyres. What is Samaya doing at the Campos team? That is a very weird one there. But we have a look at Callum Ilott. He's in as well on the same lap. He's going on to hard tyres as well. So Ilott and Samaya, the two Tridents, are both into the pits. But here is the HWA of Lacey. He's onto another set of hard tyres. The Tridents there, as I said, double stacking. They're both onto another set of hard tyres. Ronasani and Marino Sato. Sato's going to lose so much time in the pit stop phase here. I think that last one was Giotto. He's also going onto hards. So I'm not sure what they're all doing as the rain is coming down. They're going from hards to hards. They need, even if they were going to the end on slick tyres. But this is the race leader, or one of them at the very least. Udayan Tiktum, he's onto another set of hards as well. So this race has just been turned on its head, and we've just been gifted back all the positions we lost. The only driver who hasn't pit yet in this race is Felipe Drogovich, and he is currently leading this race by a long way. And at the end of this lap, it is time to come in for the intermediate tyres. So all of those drivers we just saw switching onto another set of hards have to make a stop, and in just a lap or two after they came in. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but yeah, that is a disaster for all of those drivers, especially Marino Sato, who had to double stack. I don't know what they were doing there at the Trident team, but yeah, going on to another set of hard tyres. Even if they wanted to go to the end on slicks, they had to put the softs on. You need to use both compounds in Formula 2 unless it rains, and then of course you can use the intermediate or wet tyres as they are.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
But yeah, I don't know what on earth they were all doing, but we were down in 16th position. We've been handed a podium. We're up into 2nd position in this race, and it has all come together.
Drogovich, just ahead, push hard. Okay, gap ahead is 24.9 seconds. They're on fresh wets.
And yeah, now Felipe Drogovich is almost half a minute up the road, and he's just been gifted this race win by a long way. Here he is, just minding his own business, up in the lead. He just needs to bring it home, and that will be 25 points in the bank for him. That will be very handy for his title fight. He is currently 3rd in the championship, 22 points behind, so I'm sure he will certainly take those points with a smile. But for us, there wasn't really a lot of action in that final stint. You'll notice we've moved on to the end of the race, and in lap 37. But here is the race winner, Felipe Drogovich. He may have got some good luck on the strategy front, but he's held his nerve in the wet conditions to win the feature race here in Spain. And it's a great drive from the Brazilian. And for us, as we round the final corner, it's going to be very lucky as well on the strategy front, but it's P2 here from last on the grid.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
What a race. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We get the driver of the day.
It wasn't always plain sailing today, but a very important win nonetheless. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Simply, they are just a better driver in the world. Here in Formula 2 we know the cars are the same, so it's not down to machinery. They can just handle the weather better than everyone else. Meaning they can have the throttle open longer, they can push more, brake later, and are able to handle it all. They make it look like they have a much faster car, but it's a pure skill behind the wheel. Really incredible driving.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be MP Motorsport picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
So it's Felipe Drogovich who takes the race win here in Spain, and it's going to be us in 2nd position with Dan Ticktum in 3rd.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Let's give it to Yuki Tsunoda. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Another team that excelled today was Dams, who make further progress up the table. Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So Guilherme Samaya has managed to get himself up into the top 8. He'll be starting on the front row for the reverse grid race. So very lucky result for him too in this championship. We'll see if he can hold it through for a good result in the sprint race. But yeah, back to this race. I was very worried on the start. We didn't really have a lot of pace, but I don't know, after the first lap we just kept making overtake after overtake after overtake on the soft tyres, and it well, yeah, we got all the way up into the top 10, into the points, into the reverse grid ranges, you know, on top of that. But yeah, in the end I thought the soft tyres wouldn't last until the rain. Of course we'll never know because I didn't try it, but in the end I don't think we could have caught Felipe Drogovich. He was so fast in the rain. He just pulled away further and further after that initial moment where we checked the time to him. So yeah, I don't think even if we stayed on the soft tyres, they would have been wearing out. You know, after that safety car went back in. We would have been more equalised on pace with all the hard compound tyre runners at that point in the race. So yeah, it would have been a bit more difficult to make our way through the field, and of course you know, we would have still gained those positions as everyone pit onto new hard tyres, but I still don't think we would have had what it takes to catch up to Drogovich. I guess we would have just been closer, but yeah, that is unfortunate. That's the way it played out, but in the end I don't think that extra pit stop really affected the result, given everyone else made the extra stop as well. But yeah, other than that, there's Guan Yu Zhou retiring from the race. Bit of a disappointing one for him, and that's you know, going to ruin his whole weekend, unfortunately. But anyway, let's go on to the sprint race and get that one underway.
We've reversed the top 8 from yesterday's race to set the grid for the sprint race here today, and the drivers are almost ready on the grid down below. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remain calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
So here we are on the grid then for the sprint race here in Spain. So let's get ourselves ready for strategy. It will just be the usual no stop, no point making a pit stop here. It is not faster to do that. So let's get ready as we go to the formation lap though. You can see everyone around us is on soft tyres, so they either think it's faster to either make the pit stop or just to go to the end on the soft tyres.
Sure to warm up the tyres and brakes, warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap.
So this could be a very interesting race. Guilherme Samaya, Nobuharu Matsushita and myself starting on the hard tyres, and as we look down the order there are a couple more, Callum Milot and Jack Aitken as well will be starting off on the hard compound. So there's a few going for the hards like us, the usual strategy in these races, but yeah, Luca Giotto is starting on the hard tyres, as well as Louis Delatraz and Sean Galeo, who obviously struck some mechanical issues in the first race. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see which strategy ends up working out. But anyway, we skip to the 5 red lights. And the lights are out and we are underway for the sprint race here in Spain. And it was not a good start for us. We just had an absolutely dreadful reaction time. We've been swamped off the line. But there's a huge space on the outside. We try and regain some of those positions on the outside line. And we just about squeeze through and try and get up the inside of the Dams car there of Dan Ticktum. And for the second race in a row, we've made a bit of contact with the Dams through turn 2 and round the outside of turn 3 as well. We tried to make the move, but unfortunately this time we were not able to hold it through. Up the inside though into turn 4, and we're trying to just squeeze our way through up on the inside curb there and make the move on Dan Ticktum, and we've just about managed that. And round the outside now, that was a little bit close on the front left corner there, but we do manage to avoid contact with Matsushita. Now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense that some of them were starting on the soft tyres, because they used both hard compounds in the previous race, if only for a couple of laps. But that could explain why a lot of them are doing that. It could be the drivers that did multiple laps on hard tyres in the previous race. But we have a look to the outside of Matsushita. Not going to make the move there though, as he takes the defensive line. We're not able to make that move, but we don't really need to make the move on Matsushita right now. We need to race as fast as we can to the point where the soft tyre runners will be pitting, because they can't do this race on soft tyres, surely not. That would be insane. So the two of us and Samaya up ahead, I suppose, as well, we'll need to just push on as best we can and not hold each other up on the hard tyres. And you know, just in case the soft to hard strategy works out, we need to just run the fastest race that we can. But we do eventually clear Matsushita into the first corner around the outside to the inside of turn 2, and we overtake our fellow Japanese driver and move ourselves up into the top 5 as things stand. Next up is Guilherme Samaya, and then Robert Schwartzman. We have a look at Samaya, who has that big old lock-up into the first corner, but we can't make the move there. Robert Schwartzman is out of the race.
Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
The pole sitter of the feature race is out here in sprint race, and it's brought out the virtual safety car. Just a mechanical failure, unfortunately, for Robert Schwartzman, but we get underway from the VSC once more, and we can return to trying to chase down Guilherme Samaya in the Campos. And now out of that right-hander, we've got a good run. We go to the outside of Samaya, and later on the brakes into the hairpin, but we've got a little bit too late on the brakes there, and Samaya is going to hold on, as we just have to focus on making the corner as opposed to making the overtake. Samaya manages to get the braking point right, hold on to the position.
Matsushita is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 2.3 seconds.
And yeah, Matsushita dropped off the back of us a little bit.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
As pit stops start to be made, we go to the outside of Guilherme Samaya as we head towards the first corner, and we do make the move round the outside. Briefly, Samaya held the lead there, but did not last long for him. But we got up on the curb on the inside of turn 2, and Samaya holds on to the lead. So the Brazilian leading the race here as we head towards turn 4. They will surely be able to make the move to the inside, and we do just that, up the inside, but we take too much of the curb trying to take a narrow line there. We try and switch it back, but we just make an absolute mess of it, and Samaya is able to hold on. I don't know what on earth that racecraft was there from us. That was a bit embarrassing, to be honest, but anyway, we will try and move on from that. But you can see here on the race director where everyone has re-emerged that have made their stops. They're all going onto another set of the soft compound tyres, and they will be behind everyone except for Sean Galeo. Mick Schumacher Jane Deruvla has managed to come out ahead of Sean Galeo, but everyone else behind all of the hard compound runners. Christian Lundgaard, the only driver to go onto a set of hards after his pit stop. He may have pit earlier for some damage. I'm not sure what his situation was, but unfortunately Lundgaard probably can't really do much in this race with that strategy. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Deruvla and Schumacher can do, if they can fight their way through the field and challenge us up at the front, and how much of an advantage that will give them. But anyway, we make the move on Samaya to the inside. He covers it off. We have to back out of that, or we would have been running into the back of him. He covered right the way to the inside it's fair defense, so we can't really complain too much about it. We will just have to try a different tactic. He was very robust in his defense there, but yeah, we just weren't able to make the move. Meanwhile, behind, Mick Schumacher overtakes Sean Galale. This, I think, is for about 9th position, and Schumacher makes the move, and Galale is now down into 10th. But we move on again, and this time we learn. We go to the left-hand side of Samaya after ducking in for a bit of slipstream. We go round the outside into the first corner, but Samaya, a great run through the first 2 corners and manages to hold on. So well played to him, as Matsushita is closing up to us, and he is going to be ready to take the fight to the 2 of us if we squabble too much. So we need to be a little bit careful here, otherwise he will steal it from us as we continue to fight. Though Samaya covers us off, we have to take avoiding action there as we head into turn 5. We run very wide here, and we do well. We've gone for a spin as well, a half spin, and we've lost that's a couple of positions there to Jack Aitken and Matsushita. So that's a real shame for us, and with tyres are dirty, we're going to have to be very careful through these next couple of corners. Callum Milot is right behind us as well, so we need to watch out for him to make sure he doesn't grab a free spot here while we're trying to clean up the tyres and get a move on. But we do eventually recover and catch back up to Jack Aitken in the Campos. A good run out of the final corner. We have a look to the inside as we set the fastest lap of the race. A bit of DRS assistance on that lap from Aitken. So that's probably how we managed that one. But we get the move done up the inside of Jack Aitken, and we moved ourselves up back onto the podium. Matsushita, the only one now trying to chase down Guilherme Samaya. But we quickly join him round the outside of turn 4, and we'll try and squeeze through. It's very tight on the exit there, but we do get the move down on Matsushita to the inside of turn 5, and now we can focus forwards once again on Samaya. But there's only about 4 laps left in this race, so as we catch up to Samaya, once again DRS along the main straight. We go to the left hand side this time. I have to back out a little bit as I was expecting him to defend, and he did not defend there as harshly as I thought he would. But anyway, we go around the outside of the first corner of Samaya, but he has a great run through turn 2. We were a little bit deep into turn 1, and we just again couldn't make the move on Samaya as we go up the inside this time into turn 1, but we go too deep again, and we run completely off circuit. Samaya maintains the lead once again. Now Matsushita is trying to have a look at us, but we're going to hold him off and maintain that position. We move on now to the penultimate lap of the race, and we're going to try and make the move in a bit of a different place now, and try and make the move around the outside into turn 10, and it's worked for us before, but Samaya is late enough on the brakes. We just don't have the same power around the outside as we've had on previous cars that may have been in traffic. So we move on to the final lap now, up the inside into turn 4, but we're pinched on the curb a little bit awkwardly there, and we can't quite get the power down as well as I wanted to, and Samaya is still on the left hand side trying to fight back, and he's going to actually hold it through there as we try and get around the outside, but we just don't have the traction around the outside there, and Samaya holds on to the lead. One last chance though now into this hairpin at the end of the little straight, and the back of the circuit, down the inside we go, but we've got a whiz spin and spun on the exit, and we've thrown it away now. It's going to be 4th place for us as we were all bunching up there towards the end. But there we go, a spin right at the end. Matsushita, the C's part for him, and he manages to actually grab the lead there as we will have a look at the onboard with Samaya. Yes, we just got on the power too early, too eager there, and Matsushita was able to take full advantage of that. Here it is from a different angle, and yeah, we just lost the back end, and we've just dropped it from what should have been an easy race win at that point. Matsushita, great opportunistic move there to wiggle his way through. The 2 of us that were slow, Aitken, had nowhere to go at the back, and yeah, you can see in the background there us getting going again. But yeah, here he is though, Matsushita, coming around the last couple of corners. It was fortuitous that the cars ahead of him had a couple of issues, but it's a win nonetheless for Nobuharu Matsushita in the sprint race here in Spain. A good drive from the Japanese driver. We're going to come across the line in 4th position.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And that is a very frustrating end to what was a pretty good race for us, but somehow or other we just could not pass Samaya.
That may not have been the finest race in history, but there's no question that was a critical win. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the MP Motorsport team, and I'm very happy to see them up there on the top step of the podium.
So it's Nobuharu Matsushita who takes the race win for Campos today. Guilherme Samaya stands on the podium in P2. Great drive by the Brazilian. And Jack Aiken makes it a double podium for Campos Racing.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Yuki Tsunoda, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Luis Del Tras. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Campos this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
So that brings the end to another round of Formula 2 here in Spain. And, well, despite our troubles in this round, we still managed to extend our lead in the championship. We came into the round 22 points ahead of Drogovich and 17 ahead of Alesi. And now Alesi's kind of dropped out of the fight after, I'm not sure if he scored any points in this round. And Drogovich, I think, has dropped 5 points to us now, 27 points behind. So we extend our championship lead by 10 points. But the MP cars, Drogovich and Matsushita, are closing in, I guess, in sort of vague terms. They're second and third in the championship, looking very, very speedy. So we need to be careful of them. They they're definitely going to be a cause of concern for us throughout the rest of the season. Both Drogovich and Matsushita, to be fair to both of them. But Matsushita up into third in the championship after this one. Alesi down to fourth. Lundgaard, after a pretty horrendous weekend, is probably out of the title fight as things stand at the moment. Of course, he can come back into it in later rounds, but as things stand, he's really dropped down a lot after taking, I think he took the first win of the season, but it was really been a quiet one from him. But for us, we managed to get through the field, except for Matsushita and Samaya. We had a lot of trouble overtaking the two of them, which is a bit strange because they were on the hard tyres the same as us. But apparently those soft tyres for everyone else didn't really switch on us for whatever reason. We were okay battling with the soft tyre runners at the start. We remember we overtook a couple of them. Dan Tickton was, I remember, but anyway, not too much else to say about this one though, so I guess I'll finish off saying thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for the round in Monaco. That's going to be fun. Thank you, and goodbye.